counter the economic turmoil in the wake of the pandemic. So what should they propose? Well, joining me now is Peter Dowd, the Labour MP and former Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury. Welcome to the programme. Now, Peter Dowd, what is Labour's plan to deal with inflation?
I think, look, all these things have to be set in the context of what came before. It's very easy to try and pin down people in relation to what you do immediately now, but it has to be in the context of 10 years of stagnation. The government have been in power for 12 years. We're now in this situation because there hasn't been investment. We've had low growth in the economy. Your point that there was roaring growth last year, well, over the past 12 years, it's been pretty poor. So the economy is in a pretty bad state. The issue in relation to wages is that wages are not much better than they were in real terms 10 or 15 years ago. And that all adds to the sort of economic context for this cost of living crisis. So that's the position that we're in. So it's going to take a fair bit of time to get out of this situation, and it's going to be with us till the end of Parliament. But what we've got to do in the meantime is try to support those most affected by this, and those most affected by this are not going to be the likes of you and me, Tom. It's going to be thousands of people in my constituency who work but are still on benefits. That's the people we've got to support. They're the people that we've got to help in the immediate situation.
Do you recognise that the government sort of sees itself in a bit of a bind in this situation? It genuinely worries that spending more money, more fiscal transfers or printing more money or something like that would put more money in the pockets of people might be counterproductive in some way, might push inflation higher, might push prices higher?
Well, I don't think so, because I think I've mentioned this to you before. During the financial crisis, the government set aside, in one fashion or another, loans, guarantees, support, etc., about £1.3 trillion to support a number of banks who were the cause of the crisis in the first place. We've had about £450 billion in relation to COVID expenditure. What the government recognises at times of crisis, as it did after the Second World War, and for various points, at particular times of crisis, it does have to step out of the straitjackets of this sort of, you can't spend what you haven't got, and so on. It really does have to step out of that self-imposed straitjacket, because that's why we're in the position. After 10 years, we've got stagnating wages, we've got a low growth economy, a low investment economy, a low skills economy. That's the very cause of much of the situation that we're in at the moment, because the government insists on putting itself in a straitjacket.